Hi, my name is Aislinn Chu, and I have been given the arduous task of introducing the Sophie Younker. Now, I must confess that it took me an embarrassing amount of time to write this speech. The issue lies in simply describing Sophie. She is such an amazing human being, and trying to list everything about her in a short amount of time is intimidating. We all know how amazing of a dancer and performer she is, and if you haven't seen her on stage, then, wow, that's sad. Her sense of humor is impeccable. For example, during a Secret Santa, she gave a friend a ball of duct tape with confetti. It took our friend from O period to the end of the school day to finish opening it, with scissors, might I add. But with that whole fiasco aside, she is also so incredibly kind. If you knew how much work she put into being the lead dancer and a lead understudy for Mary Poppins, you would be amazed. And on top of that, Sophie didn't have to guide us to make sure we got the dance right in supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but she did anyway, and God knows we needed that extra help. Fifi Younker, I love you so much, and I'm so glad that I've gotten to spend these past 4 years with you. I know you have something amazing to tell us, so give it up for Sophie Adele Younker.
I hate drive-thrus. Now everyone knows that a huge rite of passage when you turn 16 is that you get to drive by yourself. And what do most people do when they are first able to drive by themselves? Go through a drive-thru. Think of this. It's a beautiful, warm, sunny day. I just finished school and I am craving some Cinnabon Delights and a Baja Blast from Taco Bell. I get in my car, turn on some Conan Gray, and start cruising down Poplar Avenue. As soon as I pull into the parking lot, it hits me. I realize the huge mistake I've just made. I am the next car in line at the Taco Bell drive-thru. I immediately start profusely sweating and my heart is beating out of my chest. At this point, I'm panicking. But before I know it, I am out of line and back onto the road. I never got the food. Now, it is not that I simply just decided that I wasn't hungry anymore. I just do not like the thought of having to get my words out quickly so that the next person in line can get their order taken. If anyone has been in my car and gone through a drive-thru with me, you will know that even though I will pay for your food or drinks, I will not order for you. Darla, Kate, and Camille can attest to this. I hate drive-thrus because I have a stutter. I have a speaking disorder that makes it difficult for me to speak fluently. Growing up with so many smart girls around me who have always had something to say, I was really intimidated. At 6 years old, I was referred to a speech-language pathologist due to my speaking issues. After many visits with this therapist, I was rejected and told that my stutter was not severe enough for proper treatment. My 6-year-old self realized in that moment I had to deal with this myself. Growing up in lower and middle school, I would always stay quiet in order to avoid coming into contact with important conversations. I wouldn't speak up to answer questions in class. I wouldn't volunteer to read a passage aloud from a book. I would just stay quiet. In 4th grade, I was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome, a neurological disorder that causes me to have uncontrollable movements and vocal sounds. Being diagnosed with ADHD that same year and having a stutter on top of that, I was so embarrassed and mortified. There would be moments when I had tics that would cause me to make sharp and jerky motions, and trying to talk to someone while I'm ticking, have a stutter, and have ADHD is like the trifecta of impossibility. Some people would say that I looked like a robot and that I was glitching. I didn't want to look like a robot, so I stopped showing the world who I truly was. I would go home and constantly practice talking to myself in a mirror. I would work on the consonants I have the most trouble with and say them over and over and over again. I used to be ashamed of my stutter, and sometimes I still think I am. I can't hold a normal conversation without having to work so hard as to what I say and how it comes out of my mouth. As I got older, though, I realized that what makes me different makes me unique. Without my stutter, I would not be Sophie Younker, the girl who is always early to school, loves to write, or always with Miss Ray. I would not be Fifi Younker, the girl who performs on stage in front of hundreds of people at a time to put on a story. If I want to speak, I should be allowed to speak without my own judgment getting in the way. I wouldn't be me. Now, I know I'm not stuttering at all during this speech right now, and that is not that I have cured my stutter or am purposely trying to hide it. I have worked hard to get to where my speaking is today by constantly trying to slow down. And I shouldn't be ashamed of that hard work. I shouldn't be ashamed that I still stutter every single day. Of course, I might still be a bit embarrassed by it, but that's okay. I'm still on a journey to learn how to love myself. My stutter is a part of who I am. To all the people I love, thank you for listening to me, whether it is during a discussion in the classroom, on the stage, or just having a simple conversation with me. If you know anyone who has a stutter but you don't know how to support them, first of all, you should not have to treat them any differently. They are just like you. Sometimes it just takes us longer to talk. The biggest thing that you can do for us is just to simply listen. We want you to value what we say, even if we can't quite piece it together correctly. And if you don't have a stutter but just want to take away something from this speech, just be yourself. I know it's much easier said than done, but it will make you feel better. I'm going to get over my fear of drive-thrus at some point in my life, but for right now, I'll just stick to ordering on the app. Don't be afraid to show the world the real you. No one in this room is alike. You're all different, and that's what makes you beautiful and unique. Thank you.